Welcome back everyone, UVS Hermit here, and welcome to another Last Week Wednesdays. Last week I was finally able to get to both of my locals, so I've got one interesting, one kind of weird decks to tell you about. As you guys should know by now, in this series I'm just going over what I've played locally this week, whether it's just random characters that I build to keep things interesting at my locals and to not be such a sweaty tryhard, or some proof of concepts, and I've got one of those proof of concepts today. So we're going to start with what I played at Primal Nerds on Tuesday, and that is Best Jeanist. Now, why did I pick Best Jeanist? Because that's the character that was chosen at random for me. I have a big book of characters, and I just flipped to a random page, pointed at a random character, it was Best Jeanist, and I thought, well, I gotta make this work somehow. Best Jeanist, as you can see, is a 7 hand size, 19 health character with all death and good. He's got the pro hero trait. Response once per turn, discard 1 card. After an attack is blocked, add 1 attack from your rival's discard pile to their card pool. So a bit of card pool stuffing offensively and defensively at the cost of a card in my hand. And also response, after the second attack this turn is played, it gets +2 speed and +2 damage, or -2 speed and -2 damage, and if there is a ranged card in our card pool, we get to draw a card. So, as soon as I saw this character, 2 cards came to mind. And those cards were The Ripper Arrives and Double Spirit Blast. So, Ripper Arrives, I always wanted to play as my second card, because I could give it the 2 speed, 2 damage, and then stagger another 2 speed and 2 damage onto my next attack. Plus, I could discard a card to make my rival discard a card. This turned out to be a very solid strategy, because this deck drew a lot of cards. There were some times I had 7, 8 cards in my hand on like my third attack. It was a little ridiculous. So I was never short of cards in my hand to just tear my rival's hand apart and throw some damage. I had Lizard Tail Splitter because I could add cards to my rival's card pool, make it harder to block. I do have this sub-theme of card pool clog with Best Jeanist, and it's arranged. It's got Deadlock Echo if I needed it, and it's another way to cycle cards out of my hand and drawing more cards. Beautiful Energy was just here as a filler, to help draw a card, because all my attacks are ranged, so I can draw a card to kind of fix the problem of emptying my own hand from all of these discard abilities. I can just draw more cards. For funsies, I threw Suzuki Flurry in here. It's arranged. Oops. Ever since I saw this card, I wanted to build a deck around it, but I haven't been able to bring myself to actually play Suzuki. But it gets up to +5 damage, 1 damage for each card that I've drawn every turn, and I can spend a momentum to force my rival to discard a card as an additional cost to block this attack. So if I pump this as, like, my second attack, let's say, so it gets the +2/+2, and then I give it like +3 damage, it's a 5 high 10, or it's a 7 high 10, and if my rival doesn't want to take 10, they have to discard and block. It's just really cool. But Double Spirit Blast was in here because there's not a lot of offense in this deck foundation-wise, so I am playing pretty much on just a sheer number of attacks in my string, plus maybe the +2/+2 when I remembered to do it. Often I was forgetting to use Best Jeanist's response, but it has Echo. I can make my rival's block modifiers increase for the turn, and often I would just play this and then echo it as my second attack and make it a 6 mid 8. So 4 mid 6, 6 mid 8, and then I would try to go off. Spirit Gun Mega, I decided I needed more draw, and this allows me to discard a card from my hand in order to pick up any card from my discard pile. Also, it's a really good momentum dump outside of Echo, because I have the Echo on Double Spirit Blast, and the Deadlock Echo and Tail Splitter, but I think I have EX3 on Suzuki Flurry. I have the powerful 4 on Spirit Gun Mega, but I think those are my only momentum outs. So I didn't really use a lot of momentum. Uh, I was just all about blowing my rival out of the water in one string because I have 19 health. I'm not going to survive more than that. So this was just a way to pick up cards that I wanted. I often picked up Ripper Arrives, so I could play that as my second attack and then stack more damage. It was pretty fun till you check it too, but hey, I'm not afraid of that. I had one Spirit Gun final because I was just sitting on my floor building this in order to go to the tournament the very next day. Because that's how some of these random ones go, especially for Primal. When I'm just at my freest, I will just pick a random character, and without trying to build something in Ultra, I will sit down and just start building and just kind of see where it takes me. It's very freeing and very confusing sometimes, so that's why some of these last week Wednesday's decks look so janky. It's because they are. It's because I just start building and I don't have an actual plan, and we just figure it out as we go. But it can get 5 speed, it can get 5 damage, it's got breaker. It's just a good finisher, and I think all I did was block with it. Another breaker block, Punisher Beam. This could get me momentum if I need to, but it was mainly there to nuke foundations if my rival couldn't block it. I had Teleportation Stone for defense, just if I block something, I stuff your card pool, and you have to play a non-attack card. This ended strings all night. And then for more speed and damage, anti-personnel vertical maneuvering equipment. If I didn't play Ripper Arrives as my second attack, this was how I gave it the 1 speed and 1 damage to give 2 speed, 2 damage to the next attack. And let me tell you, when you're throwing, 1 and then Echo, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attacks, 1-1 on all of them kind of matters. That is a lot of extra speed and damage that my rivals had to deal with. But since I do empty my hand a lot, Cute Host Koto lets me draw 3 cards at the end of my turn, doesn't counter its progressive, so it's just there to fill up my hand for defense. I had Airy Smiles, great block. Again, forces my rival to play non-attack cards, so I can block, then Best Jeanist, and just try to end your turn. I built this on all, by the way. Then I had just, I think all of my foundations were mainly defense-based. Fateful Decision to give breaker, Eaten by the Bearded Titan for minus speed. I did play America's number 1 hero, because as a first enhance, I could flip it, discard any card, and my rival's not allowed to block this attack with that card. So I would usually play what I thought was going to be a kill card, and then just pitch a foundation and say, cool, you're losing an attack, or I'm just going to crash through you on this one. Final test, there's a lot of discard in this deck, so just being able to draw at form speed is good. Master of 1,000 Faces did not work. I think I played its effect once to get 2 damage. It wasn't worth it. It had Suzuki on it, so I thought, okay, cool. Steel Muscle Explosion was good, because when you discard it, you draw a card. Settling Old Debts, just more draw. Breaking the Cuffs was more discard, plus a bit of speed and damage. I didn't see this at all. Resting Up is just speed hate, but I never had Best Jeanist committed, so it didn't really work as well as usual, but it was just there. Grasping for Answers made my next ranged attack easier to play. Prideless Negotiations was just a good breaker block. I have a lot of breaker in this. This deck is, as I was playing it, because I was mainly doing this like, oh, this is a 0 diff, I need that, I need to build long, I'm a 7-hander. The amount of breaker and cards like Airy Smiles and Teleportation Stone, the defense this deck was able to put up was insane. I was ending turns after 1 attack. Just block, breaker, you have to play a non-attack card, or block, breaker, clog your card pool, you have to play something else, and it was insane the amount of defense this character was able to put up. And that's with me forgetting, for the most part, the -2 speed, -2 damage. I remembered it on my turn for the most part, but almost always forgot to do it on my rival's turn. Always cool. You can lock your rival into their printed damage, or you can do what I did and just build it up and get 2 foundations early on in a game. Defending Pageant Queen was good, reduces speed to 0, makes things easy to block. And what is a symbol? Pro Hero Breaker 1, and it's a little bit of speed, damage buff or damage reduction. What I would do to change the deck going forward, I probably just wouldn't play Best Jeanist, if I'm honest. I don't know. I'd have to give... If I wanted to build Best Jeanist, I really do like how defensive this deck was. I'd want to put up more damage, though. I would absolutely want to put up some more damage in... especially in my foundation base. Like, for all my foundations to be defensive for the most part was a little rough closing out games. I played against a Sung Jinwoo, I believe, and I was able to beat him because I was just able to string out so long. But then I played against a Beast Titan, just the regular Beast Titan, the secret rare character, and I left him at 1 because I didn't see he had a -2 on board to leave himself at 1, and then he was able to backswing me, but he was able to throw, you know, the 10 damage throws and stuff like that, so he would need some sort of throw hate. I don't know. Not entirely sure what I would do to make this deck better, to make it more serious, because it was just kind of a fly by the seat of my pants idea. I do like a lot of the draw. I do like a lot of the defense. Yeah, he just needs more offense. He needs to be able to kill people. And as of now, especially on all, yeah, he just doesn't get there. Unless you can just plow through all of your rivals' defense with an obscene amount of attacks, he doesn't get there. So I'm not sure entirely how I would make him better. Maybe switch him to the good symbol and utilize like June Kazuma. She has a lot of card pool clog stuff, so I might do something like that. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure there. I wouldn't be able to use any of the Suzuki cards though. And Steel Muscle Explosion is really good in this deck. But anyway, so that's what I played at Primal, kind of for funsies, my pick a random character type of deck. But then I was talking with some of my locals. Mainly I was complaining about the day 0 builds I was making and how they were straining me. And it got to the question of a certain strategy I was putting forth and trying to figure out other characters that can play this strategy. And I came up with a very fun Godzilla concept. Now, of all of the Godzilla characters, I've kind of left him alone because he's so popular and I really don't like jumping on the bandwagon. But I had this idea for City Rampage Emerge Victorious Godzilla. So you can use Emerge Victorious to nuke any of your backup cards and then reveal cards from the top of your deck until you hit a backup. And you can play cards like Attack Titan attacks, Colossus Titan, and Smiling Titan attacks pretty much with a straight face in Godzilla. And to be able to just flip a Colossus Titan attacks off top of your deck and gain that form immediately, huge. Plus we have this new Armored Titan Rush, which is really strong. So I played this on Sunday. We had 6 players, so we played 3 rounds, and I went undefeated. Which, considering, and I get Godzilla does Godzilla things. I know the character itself is strong, but I am not playing a good Godzilla deck. Anyone who likes Godzilla can look at this and tell you, what the hell are you doing? What's wrong with you? Be serious. But my jank idea was Emerge Victorious and Knockdown Blow. Because this can give my next check to play a backup or shift attack +3, and if I play the shift attack, it gets 3 damage. So imagine a world where you City Rampage into Knockdown Blow. So that's on an 8, You check a 5, that's technically 7, you commit 1. Cool. And then you play something like an Emerge Victorious to do your whole backup loop. Blow up a backup, try to build in a better backup. On a 7, you check a 5, that's a 7. And then let's say I play Colossus Titan attacks. No, it was Armored Titan Rush. So that's as my third attack, 4th card on a 10. Well, with between City Rampage and Knockdown Blow, that's going to get +5. So I check a 5, that's 10 right there. Hell, I play Colossus Titan on a 12 after Rampage and Knockdown Blow. I play this on a 12, I check a 5, that's a 10. I only have to commit 2 cards to play Colossus Titan attacks. And it gets +7 damage. 3 from Godzilla, 3 from Knockdown Blow, 1 from City Rampage. A 7 mid 17. And I only had to commit 2 cards? Who wouldn't want to do that? So I played against a Knot, who, for making all of their stuff very unblockable, just could not put up the damage and didn't have as much damage negation to keep up with the King of the Monsters. So, Dylan, you put up a great fight, but I just clinched it. Then I played against a Mirio, who, despite drawing no attacks for 3 turns, I could not break his wall. He had Mirio, he had Airy, he had a bunch of speed hate, and he just lived. And I was finally able to, even after I once per gamed with Godzilla, we both just drew bad after that, and he was able to just build his wall back up, and it was just so rough. I was finally able to bait the Airy and get the last of his momentum down after playing Smiling Titan attacks, and I was just finally able to clinch it. And then round 3, I played a Mirko 2, and that match was over 2-0 in about 10-15 minutes. Godzilla just ran hot. I think I won game 1 on my 3rd turn, going first. And then he went first, and on my 2nd turn, so my first attacking turn, I played Rampage into Knockdown, into Emerge, into Smashing, into I think Armored Titan Rush. And just with all of the base damage I was able to put down was nuts. And I was just able to blow everything up because I had a Sean Gilmore, which I can commit for +2 to my next check. So he's basically a Godzilla without needing the momentum. Yeah, I was just able to rip things down, and he wasn't able to block all of it. So I was able to just crash down in 1 turn, and it was ridiculous. So I think the concept has proven itself. This is one I'm definitely going to work on and try to refine, because this is just what I happen to have on me. Technically, I'm borrowing an Armored Titan Rush, so I want a 3rd. I want to play 3 of this. And I'm starting to think I need at least 3 Knockdown Blow, if not 4. But I'd only had access to 2, because a rare from Attack on Titan Battle for Humanity might as well be a secret rare. I think I only had the 2 Attack Titan attacks, but this card showed up so much, and the fact that it's always an attack that I'm gonna have live, that from its backup form plays itself as a 5 diff. Yeah, that's what it was. I went to City Rampage, I did Knockdown Blow, I did Emerge Victorious, popped Sean in order to no, is that it was Rampage, Knockdown, Smashing, commit Sean for +2, play Emerge, blew up Sean, built in Attack Titan attacks, and then played that as a form to come up as a 6 high for 9, 12, 15 because of the knockdown blow, and I passed without having to commit any foundations because of the +2 from City Rampage and the +3 from knockdown blow. So I was able to play on 4 foundations and 1 backup, 5 attacks in 1 turn. It was nuts. And that was without any... that was just from City Rampage and Sean Gilmore. Or 4 attacks, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 attacks. And it was just crazy. But I like that Armor Titan Rush cannot be reduced below 9 damage. And my rival can't block it with a non-attack card, so I'm either wasting an attack out of their hand, or they're just taking a whole bunch of unblockable damage. I had a Holy Mace Beam in here because, like I said, I didn't have a 3rd Attack Titan Rush, and I pulled one of these from a box earlier. So I was like, if my rival's trying to wall up, I can just boost its stun, and a stun 3, 5 high for 6, that if you block, or I guess 9 because of Godzilla, and if you block it, you stuff your card pool is pretty alright. Didn't come up much. It only came up against the Mirio, and it was part of how I was able to break through the wall. But Colossus Titan attacks, Vast Hybrid Chimera Kraken obviously is just a good card. I was able to use Keg to protect Smiling Titan, so that they had to attack Smiling Titan, and then I just redirected it to Keg, so unless they wanted to waste another attack on Smiling Titan, which at that point you're not attacking me, so I'm fine with that, is crazy. Shikasta, using Shikasta and Smiling Titan to boost my already 34 health, my locals said was unnecessary and disgusting, which, I mean, fair, but like I said, this was more of a proof of concept of, can this knockdown blow, shift attack, backup Godzilla style really work? And yeah, it can. I had 2 Inspiring Song. How I would buff this deck is I would boost this to 4, because even if my rival's like, oh, you're going to get -2 speed, cool, I'm going to flip, mill 3, you're going to get -1 to your check. Sorry, you're not gonna block me. Eager to Please was good because I was just tanking hits to the face and then using this to buff my next check and then block their last attack so that I can't die, pretty much. Piratical Past, if my rival's trying to lower my speed, I can hack their check to block. I do like Annie's Gamble because I can remove it while it's committed for +1 to my check, if I ever remembered to do it. I saw this card almost every match, and I never used its ability once, and at one point, I failed to kill Mirio because I missed a check by 1 on my last attack, and it wasn't until halfway through his turn I realized I could have passed it. Awful. Read your cards, kids. Learn from my mistakes. Horrifying Realization's great. It's just some cycle draw and possibly making my rival commit their foundations. I love Swallowed by an Abnormal. It's a 6 check, which having so many 6 checks in this deck is really powerful. Plus it gives a little bit of speed and damage to my Knockdown Blow, Armor Titan Rush, Smiling Titan, Attack Titan, because it does say printed difficulty. So even if I play this on as a 5 diff, because of the backup ability, I can still give it 1/1. Titanic Combat's great. History's Greatest Monster is a must. Fearsome Transformation just lets me draw a bunch. I didn't need Childlike Appearance. Probably because I didn't see it, I only had 1 of it. Incredible Display was good for just getting rid of my rival's responsibilities. Nice Try was good speed hate. I did have a Master's Pride in here. As much as I like it, mainly because if I play Colossus Titan attacks, I can just ready it for free. I don't send a lot to momentum because most of my attacks, everyone blocks the Emerge and they'll usually block the Knockdown Blow, but unless Emerge or Knockdown Blow hit, or Smashing Stomp, it's all backups, so it's all building down, it's all shifting. So I don't know if I would run the Master's Pride. like, it's a good 0, so maybe I'd do it just to try to build wider, but I don't know. I never really got the ability to use its response unless I think a Vast Hybrid made it through at one point, and I was able to ready it when it went to my momentum at the end phase. And I had Endless Loathing in here just because I wanted more like low difficulty attacks, just to be able to form flip my next Foundation Ignores Progressive so that after playing 4 cards, I could play like a History's Greatest Monster and build it. Is neat. It's got neat Deadlock for that form. Honestly, I don't think I needed it. So what I would do is I would try to figure out mainly the Foundation base, because I know what I need to change here. I want more knockdown blows. I want another Armored Titan Rush. I don't know what I would change. Like, I like Fast Hybrid because it's one of my only ways to deal with assets. I'd get rid of the Mace Beam, so that'd probably be the 3rd Rush. 2 to 3 knockdown blow. I might reduce Smashing Stomp, because that +1 is good, but this is also like my most blockable attack aside from Vast Hybrid. So I might knock this down to a 3 or a 2 to get the 2 other knockdown blows, because +1 to my next check to play any attack is good, but if I'm playing mainly shifts, +3 and +3 damage is just better. I don't know if I would play Keg, as funny as it is to protect like my Colossus Titan attacks or my Attack Titan attacks, but in the end, I guess if you're attacking my backups instead of me, they're kind of doing their job already. So I don't know if I would keep Keg. I'm definitely going to stick with at least 2 Gilmore. I might put in either another Shikasta to keep me alive or another Spiraling Fetch, because this deck lacks speed. So giving 2 speed, and I can just rip my rival's top card for nothing. Plus these are just the cards that I target with Emerge Victorious, so I can sacrifice them and hopefully build in a Colossus Titan off top of my deck, or a good defensive Smiling Titan, or another attack in Attack Titan, or even the incredibly powerful Reiner's Toughness, because just Enhanced Sacrifice reduces damage to 1, and it's not a first enhance. I can just wait until you're ready and just click it. That's really, really good. So yeah, I would clean up the attack package. I don't know about running any assets because I'm already running so many backups. I mean, it's only like 5, but still it feels like a lot. But I'd also want to clean up the Foundation package to maybe have more 6s. I mean, I know Swallowed by an Abnormal and Inspiring Song. I don't know what other 6s there are. I mean, there's the All for One 6, but it's a 3 diff. I wouldn't want to play that. I have History's Greatest Monster. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Like, maybe I get rid of the Eager to Pleases because it's fun, but it's not necessary. I like Titanic Combat. I could get rid of the Childlike Appearance because I don't need to block as much. But then again, I'm just that kind of person. I will face tank if absolutely possible. I like Incredible Display. I don't know. Maybe up the Nice Try to 3, cut the Childlike Appearance, cut the 2 Eager to Please for 2 more Inspiring Songs. Maybe cut the Annie's Gamble so I don't have to worry about forgetting it. But also, this is pre-Critical Role, kind of, because all of these Critical Role cards in here were pulled from pre-release kits, so they were before I bought my box. Except for the Shawns. I pulled the Shawns from my box, so I was able to do that. So I might look more into the Critical Role stuff and see what I can use there. But I think this is one of those weird, itchy brain ideas that I'm really going to try to refine, kind of like my backup Elder Toguro, which I am currently working on fixing up with the new Critical Role stuff. I've got 2 Undying Harness Undeaths, so I'm really excited to see where this goes. So yeah, this is a rogue thought that I had that is turning out to be kind of a contender. Like I said, there's so much check boosting and so much damage. It's just lacking speed, but you have cards like Spiraling Fetch. This one by Abnormal gives me a little speed. Titan's Combat gives you some committal. And then you've got check hacking instead of speed, so it's kind of a little bit harder for your rival to interact with that. I don't know. If there's any Godzilla players watching this for some reason, let me know your thoughts. Unless your thought is just, it's bad, don't do it, in which case, I know, I'm well aware, but sometimes when these thoughts make my brain itch, the only way to fix it is to scratch and build. And this deck was actually really fun, and surprisingly, this deck felt pretty good, especially for just a rough proof of concept to see if it'll work. Normally, I'm happy if a proof of concept takes one match out of 3, but to go completely undefeated, I'm not even sure if I lost a game. I might have lost a game to the Mirio, because I think I just ended up drawing dead because of a bad shuffle. But to win a tournament and go undefeated on a proof of concept that's not even really refined, I think that means that this is a deck worth looking at more and actually trying to refine. So I'm going to get back to my lab, and I will see you next week. I've just finished my day 0 builds tonight. My last video will be going up tomorrow as of recording. So yesterday, as of you're seeing. So probably aside from my last week Wednesday for next week, I think I'm just gonna take the week off. Actually, I'm not even going to do a last week Wednesday for next week because I'm probably going to be refining Godzilla and Elder. So if you guys want me to go over that, let me know in the comments, and hopefully by the time I see it, before I would have to post next week's last week Wednesday, I'll do that. So till next time, take care, guys.